Hello, everybody. This is Angel Reba with the with the Walking on the Glass Floor initiative. Happy Friday, everybody, and happy International Women's Day here at the Walking on the Glass Floor. I am super pumped, super excited today. It's a great Friday. Wonderful weather here in Dallas, Texas. And what a great day to celebrate International Women's Day. And as I said, we're talking from the Walking on the Glass Floor, and here it is. That's the book. That's the cause. That's the origin. The Walking on the Glass Floor, the book by Judy Hoberman. That one of the most important books that exist in the women leadership arena, and that's exactly where we are all this week, speaking from, and talking from to all of you every single day. And we are having conversations with Judy Hoberman every single day, the author of the book, Walking on the Glass Floor. She's a leader. She's the executive director of Walking on the Glass Floor Foundation and president of Selling in a Skirt. At the Walking on the Glass Floor Foundation, Judy has the honor and privilege of supporting companies and organizations that include women in leadership in their vision. And this week we have been talking about, there she is, here we have Judy Hoberman. So this week we have been talking about the 7 qualities of women. There she is. Oh my God, this is going faster every single day. Every single day about one of the 7 qualities of women that lead, women who lead. And today we're talking about decisiveness. Decisiveness. How more decisive can we be with this wonderful jacket? What's the right way to say the color of your jacket, Judy? Tell me.
Magenta.
Magenta. Okay, thank you. Awesome. So I was before jumping into the call, I was telling Judy I'm super pumped today, and so,
I know.
And so is she. So International Women's Day, all year round, working for women, working to make sure that women are treated equally and not identically in the organizations of America, and actually in organizations of the Americas, because the Walking on the Glass Floor list of facilitators actually spread their wings from, let's say, from Alaska down to the Patagonia. Let's be specific. Did you ever think about this?
No.
Patagonia. And let me tell you, actually, I have a very, very good friend. His name is Aldo. He lives here in Dallas. And he actually, literally, he's from there. And
really?
Yeah, he's absolutely from there. So I can tell you, everybody, that we definitely spread our wings down to the Patagonia because he's originally from there. And we've spoken about this initiative with him also. So anyway, decisiveness. Why is decisiveness so important? Hi, Jim. Welcome. Why is decisiveness so important for women that lead?
Well, because you have to make decisions, and sometimes the decisions are not popular, or sometimes the decisions are difficult ones, but you have to start making decisions. And to not make a decision is a decision. So, a lot of times we hear that women don't want to make decisions because they want to make sure that everything is nice for everybody else and so on and so forth. But the truth of the matter is women need to make decisions, and they are in positions where if they don't make the decisions, nothing's going to happen. So every single day you have to really, start talking to yourself almost like, okay, I have to decide to do this, or I'm going to decide to do that. Or sometimes you're afraid to make a decision because either you're going to succeed or fail. And both of those choices are equally as scary. Exactly.
And you said it very well. It's not only what decision you make. Maybe sometimes you don't make a decision for any reason. It could be because of maybe even some fear, because you're afraid of the consequences, right? And, when you talk about decisiveness, and I every day I have been really, really liked and enjoyed to read the different aspects that you actually bring to the table for every single one of the qualities. And today, when you talk about decisiveness in your book, you talk about the power of choices. You talk about choosing freedom. That's another choice, making a choice, or not making a choice, but also choosing freedom. Strategic planning and accountability partners and mastermind groups. Wow, that is
a lot.
Mastermind groups, exactly. So the power of decision. The power of decision is also the power of intention, don't you think?
Absolutely. You have to really make a decision that you're going to be intentional. It's very easy to do anything, go anywhere and be with anybody and try to do business all over, the world. But the truth of the matter is you have to be intentional. You have to be intentional about your market. You have to be intentional about the people that you work with. You have to be intentional about your message. Every day you have to be intentional because otherwise it just gets totally out of hand. When I ask people, how do I support you? Who's your market? And they say to me, everybody's my market. You can't do that. So I said, no, you have to decide who your market is, who you want to work with, who you want to play in your sandbox with. So you have to make decisions every day. And one of the things that, I would say that when you wake up in the morning, it's your decision what your day is going to be like. You can get out of bed and you can say, oh, it's too cold, oh, it's too hot, oh, I'm too tired, oh, I don't want to do this. That's how your day is going to go because you've made the decision to be like, woe is me. If you get out of bed and say, I'm excited about this, or I can't wait to do that, then you've made a decision that your day is going to be a great decision because that's what you're feeding your mind.
Exactly. And actually today it's funny that we're talking about this because just today we were supposed to do this at 9:30 a.m. Central Time here in the US. And actually I had a lot of issues myself. I was in an emergency mode since 7:15 in the morning and until now, which is almost 3 p.m. we haven't been able to do it. And exactly, so I had the choice in the morning. I had the choice to say, okay, so this day didn't start quite the way I wanted to be. And then I have interacted with a lot of people that have actually not been able to help me a lot, but as opposed to, every single time I had the choice to say, okay, so I'm going to go this way, I'm going to take this situation right now in a particular way, and it's my decision. And depending on what my choice is right now, it's going to go one way or another. But again, let's keep my power where it is, which is here.
Right. Because if you had taken the other road and said, everything is wrong and I can't believe what happened and blah, 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 you're also bringing that home to your home life. And you're also not going to be very productive in your work life because nothing is going the right way. It's like, oh, I can't believe that, how bad my life is. Well, it's not so bad. So you had a flat tire. Okay, so let's do that. I remember that after the Hurricane Harvey, I remember driving to Fort Worth. And I take the back roads a good portion of the way until I get to the highway. And I remember hitting every single red light. And I almost said to myself, I can't believe I'm hitting another red light. And then I thought, you know what? I'm in my car, I had breakfast, I'm dry, and I'm okay. And there's a bunch of people in Houston that were not. And so I made the decision to say, this is okay. I'm at a red light, so big deal. So I'll look around and see what's around here. You know what I mean? So you have to also sometimes stop yourself from making that negative decision and just be.
Would you say that women are allowed at their workplace, are allowed to be decisive, are allowed to make decisions that will contribute to the future of the organization?
I think it depends on who they report to. Because there's a lot of CEOs that want women to make decisions and they're just not making the decisions. And there's a lot of CEOs that want women to make decisions and they are. And then there's a lot of CEOs that don't want women to make the decisions. So it really depends on, who you work for or work with. But there's a lot of women that are afraid to make decisions because of the fear of intimidation, the fear of, being told that it was a bad decision. And you know what? We all have to make bad decisions, and that's okay because you learn from them. But there's a lot of companies where women really are not encouraged to make decisions.
Judy, besides being our leader in the women leadership arena, besides being an author, besides being a public speaker, she's also a coach.
Yes.
So she coaches a lot of people.
Yes.
And obviously she coaches a lot of women. So when someone comes to you, when a woman in leadership comes to you and she shares with you the roadblocks that she's facing every day that do not allow her to make those decisions that she would like to make, what is that piece of advice or that way of coaching her through that situation that you have found it's typically working well?
I always ask the question, what's the worst that'll happen? What's the worst that's going to happen? So let's take a few scenarios. If you make the wrong decision and it turns out really badly, then you have to go back and decide, what did I do? What could I do better? If you make a decision that comes out okay, it's the same thing. But what's the worst that's going to happen? You're not going to die from it. We're not going to die from making a decision, unless it's about your health, obviously. But you're not going to die from it. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're either going to do something great, you're going to do something unexpected, or you're going to do something that just needs a little bit more coaching. But if you sit yourself down and decide, like, here's the best case scenario, here's the worst case scenario, that's the worst that's going to happen. That's what I mean, that's the question that I always ask.
What could we do to help corporations to start, groups of women and probably also men that champion women, so that they start masterminding and they start changing their workplace from inside and also from the bottom?
Well, I mean, we do training, and that's exactly what we do. We do training where it's almost like a mastermind, but it isn't. It's close to it because you are feeding off each other. But there's a whole section on just this, on decisiveness, on how to make decisions, and how do you create an environment that is great, an environment for greatness. And, how do you talk to each other, and how do you encourage each other to make decisions? So, that's one of the things that we do in our training, is we actually give them an environment where they can learn how to ask the right questions and to listen, and to what kind of questions should you be asking. When you start just asking the closed-ended questions, the yes and the no's, you're not getting anywhere. But when you start asking open-ended questions, it's going to bring out some of the things that you have to learn. And there's also the 5 whys that we always talk about, and that's something that Toyota uses. You ask why, and then you give the reason. But why? And then you give the reason. And after 5 times, you find out what really is holding you back. Like, what is it that you want to do? Why? And all of a sudden you realize that they don't want to do it because of this, or they do want to do it because of this. But if you don't spend time with people and, encourage and coach and mentor and whatever else you need to do, nothing's going to happen. So, that's why I like the way our training is laid out, because you actually get to do a whole masterminding with people.
You talk about the training of the Walking on the Glass Floor initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Within that framework, what would you say? Because there's a lot of companies that provide training to people in the workplace. What would you say makes this specific training, or the Walking on the Glass Floor training, different or special?
Well, I think that part of it is that it is very self-reflective. You're not getting up there and listening to somebody preach to you. That's not what this is. It's very interactive. It's done in small groups, because we don't want anybody that is able to hide in the corner. Everybody has to be part of it. And there's exercises that you do. It's not like you're listening to somebody talk to you for 2 days. It's all inclusive. Everybody in the room is bringing in their expertise and sharing things. It's also different because when we talk about women in leadership, a lot of times companies just talk about women in leadership. And we also talk about the men that champion them. And as soon as we say that, usually the CEO will say, "Oh, you bring men in too?" Yeah, because men are part of the equation. It's almost like, today is International Women's Day. And I have been told by a few people that I shouldn't be talking about the men that champion women on International Women's Day, because it is a day for women. And I have to remind them that it isn't us against them. You have to be part of it. The men that champion women are championing women so they can celebrate International Women's Day. So that's the same thing about the training. We encourage the men. Hopefully, men will self-identify, but if not, we encourage men to come in, to step up to the plate, so we can do things that are different. We can talk about the relevant things. We can talk about an environment of trust, an environment of respect. So that's why it makes it a little different. And
not only do you speak about those 7 qualities of women that lead in the training, right? There's more
mm-hmm.
things. There's much more than the 7 qualities, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the middle piece of it. The beginning of it is really talking about why. Why are you here anyway? Like, why are you doing the things that we're doing? We talk about the reason that we're still having this conversation. It's 2019. Why? And we talk about the relevance. We talk about setting the stage. We talk about all the things that really start to bubble up and people are realizing, there's so many things we could do. But we also bring it forward because there's a lot of transformational pieces to it, but there's also a lot of the commitment that you make going forward. You and I always talk about like how do you make changes? How do you make transformation happen? It doesn't happen overnight. You're not going to go into a company and do a 2-day training and transform their culture or redefine their culture. You're not going to do that. This is just the beginning of how it all works. But at the end, we ask everybody to make a commitment. What are you going to do to make things change? Are you going to do the same thing every single day? And why are you doing this? Is it something that where you were brought up, how you were brought up? So if everybody makes a commitment, if everybody does something every day, just something little, we will move the needle. We will make changes. So, in 10 years from now, we'll be like, yo, you remember when we did training about bringing more women into lead? We won't have to do that because there will be more doors that are open. And when you watch the transformation during the training of the attendees, it's amazing. It's just amazing because they are amazed about the things that they now feel comfortable doing that they didn't before.
You spoke about transformation, and there's a lot of workplaces and there's a lot of companies that are being transformed, and they would like to be transformed in different ways. Would you say that the transformation that walking on the glass floor training is like the starting point of a wider transformation in the companies? And if that's the case, what do you see would be like the final destination? What would be the final phase of that place, of that workplace where the walking on the glass floor training took place already?
So one of the things that we are working with companies to do is to be certified. When you go through the training and you go through all the pieces of the training and all the transformation, and you have different metrics that you meet in order to make sure that you're not just saying I'm doing this, you're actually doing this. We want to be able to take them to a certification process where that company will be seen as one that's trusted, where there is transformation, where there is respect, where there is, all the different pieces that make a company a better company, make leaders better leaders. And imagine having that certification on your website and on our website that says you have like the stamp of approval. So as a female coming into your company, when I see that you've gone through this training and that you have this certification that says that, women are invited, women are encouraged, men are champions. I mean, just those pieces. And then also the fact that because we've done this, the productivity goes up, the bottom line goes up, so the success of the company goes up. That's really the crux of it. That's where we take them from the training all the way through to certification.
Beautiful. And obviously the certification has its power from the conceivers, right? It has the power from the facilitators, the people who are, who have been the think tank beside or behind the walking on the glass floor. Where do these people come from? What is that background that, adding all those backgrounds and experiences together makes so much sense for the walking on the glass floor certification?
Yeah, so our facilitators are as diverse as we talk about diversity. So we have people we have different genders, we have different generations, we have different expertise, we have different experiences, we're international, we have, it's everything that you can think of, different cultures. And because we are so diverse in who we are, we're also diverse in our thought. And that's the same thing that we want the companies to do, is have a diversity of thought. And so our trainers have different expertise, like as well as I do. I am not good in technology. So we have one that's, Jim is on now, so he's like, the techno guru. If I was asked to do a training for a company and they were a technology company, rest assured Jim would be going with me. Because we want to make sure that everybody's comfortable. Like there's a few of us that are in finance that come from financial. So obviously, that's easy. You have an international background. So everybody's got something different. There's marketing, there's broadcasting, there's all these different pieces. And so you have, like Yvonne from Calgary, she's been working with women for such a long time, and she specializes in, changing mindsets. So there's all different pieces that we all bring to the table. Now imagine there's 10 of us the breadth that we bring and also the reach that we bring. So I'm like, every time I think about all of our facilitators, I could cry, because the fact that you're all part of this really is like the most amazing thing.
Thank you, thank you. And speaking of Yvonne, to put my air flight mode onto my cell phone. But anyway, so speaking of Yvonne, actually Ilka Chavez is here. So nice to have you here. Celeste Jones is also here. Hi, Celeste. Nice to be here. Nice to have you here. And we're talking about walking on the glass floor, or the 7 qualities of the women. That was my phone again. But we're talking about the walking on the glass floor and the 7 qualities of the women that lead. I know it reads sideways here, but anyway, and we have been all the way talking about the different qualities, and we are at the 5th today, and probably we'll talk about the 6th and the 7th, and maybe even about the 8th tomorrow. If it's not only tomorrow, it might even be on Sunday, but tomorrow for sure. Exactly, tomorrow for sure. If time permitting, we'll do it also. But
this is how I use my book, though, Angel. I mean, I have Post-its everywhere because I refer to this. So it's like my little, my little Bible that I go to when I need something. I have Post-it notes everywhere. So that's how I read my book.
Exactly. I like writing on the book's margins, the pages margins all the time.
Yeah.
I like to do that. At the beginning,
I do that too.
Because books are like sacred. When I have a book in my hands, I have the perception always that it's a sacred masterpiece work of someone that has put so much effort. But actually, the books, I mean, for an author, right? When someone like writes on it and reflects on it, and it's powerful, don't you think?
Yeah, it means that they're enjoying it. They're actually using it the way it's supposed to be used. So, and there's so many exercises in it that you definitely want to be writing in the book or in the journal that we have as well. So it's the whole thing is just awesome. It's just awesome, and I'm happy.
Exactly, extraordinary. By the way, today I was so fast introducing you. Actually, I had the time to introduce you, but I didn't introduce myself. So one of the reasons that obviously I have not only Judy and our initiative, Walking on the Glass Floor, but also the book in my heart, is because part of the proceeds of the book actually go to Wisdom for Kids, and I'm blessed to be the president and co-founder of Wisdom for Kids, and we help underprivileged kids in Latin America become entrepreneurs using the local resources. And obviously there's a lot of girls in there, and we pay special attention to the girls because girls always play a very, very important role everywhere. But indigenous communities, in poor communities where there's a lot of underprivileged people, that unfortunately, but women play a key role. I mean, I will never forget when I go to these communities, there's a lot, many times there's like 50-year-old women that look like 70-year-old women that literally walk every day, literally 10, 15 kilometers just to go and sell their necklaces, and their coffee made, coffee beans kind of, necklaces and other jewelry pieces of jewelry that they make just to make a living, and that just to be able to bring food to the table of their grandkids or the people or the kids that they're taking care of. So obviously women everywhere in the world, but especially in underprivileged areas in Latin America especially, they play a very, 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 very important role. No, thank you, Ilka. Ilka is making a lot of comments here. Thank you very much for being so, participative here. So we really appreciate it. So, okay. So, Judy, would you mind sharing a final thought?
Well, I think one of the final thoughts I want to do, and I always like to remind people, is that we have a foundation. That's what Angel's talking about, with Wisdom for Kids. But part of the foundation also is to empower women. And so there are women out there that don't belong to corporate America, or that are either underserved or underprivileged. And so by, when the donations that come into the foundation can also be a part of their training and their coaching and their mentoring and so on and so forth. So we're really excited about the foundation as well as the training and the facilitators and the books and everything else. So, all together, it's a really great package. It's a wonderful group of people. It's, the people that we serve are amazing. And so, it makes sense. That's all. It makes perfect sense and good business sense.
Ilka has a question, and actually Sheila, hi Sheila, she's actually reminding us that she has a question. As you know, when you are live on Facebook, for us as hosts, or it's difficult for us to see all the different questions, and not only that, but it takes time for us to see them. So we apologize because it's difficult to know the questions if you have any questions. So, okay, how do you handle when?
And I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see them.
No, let me read that to you. How do you handle when your presence as a woman brings intimidation to the room? That's a question from Ilka Chavez.
Okay, say it again. How do I handle when what?
When your presence as a woman brings intimidation to the room. Great question.
Okay, so it's a great question. So Ilka, let me just say that I have been told since I'm little that I am intimidating and unapproachable. So when I walk into the room, I feel it. I feel people saying it about me or thinking it about me. And so one of the things you have to decide is, are you being confident or are you not confident? So you're acting like that. And I know for me, I am an introvert, believe it or not. I'm an introvert. And when I walk into a room of people that I don't know, I just walk into the room as if I own the room, because that's the only way I can get through the room. But what I did find out was when I started speaking, a lot of people would not talk to me until after they heard me speak, because they said I was intimidating. I didn't know what the reason was, but after a while I started asking people, so why don't you talk to me before I speak? And that's what I heard again. So it wasn't anything new. So what I started to do was I started to wear like crazy boots and leather jackets. And so it was a conversation starter. People would walk up to me and say, oh, I love your jacket, or I love your boots. There it is. And so when you walk into a room and you present yourself as being intimidating or non-approachable, find a way to walk in differently. Either have a smile on your face or walk in and say something. Hello, how are you? Start the conversation, because truly they want to know you, but they don't know how to know you. So I hope that answers your question. And Angel, you'll have to see if it does or doesn't, because I don't have glasses on. I can't see it.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. Again, it's difficult to see the messages moving, because it takes some time. I mean, Facebook decides how they handle the messaging while you're having a session.
It's on a delay anyway.
Yes, exactly. There's some delay here. But anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for being here with us today. Thank you.
Yeah.
So today we had Judy Hoberman with her magenta leather jacket. Now we will remember that the jackets that you wear are a great conversation starter. I never thought of it, but I'll try to do it.
Yeah.
Moving forward,
and tomorrow we're going to talk about resilience tomorrow. That's a biggie.
Exactly. I think that there's so many women out there that are resilient. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Really.
Totally.
I think that's a quality that all the women in many different workplaces have had to develop naturally to be able to live in the environment, in the ecosystem. But anyway, so thank you. Exactly. Yes, she says, thank you very much. I am an extrovert. This helps. We will talk more. Danielle just joined. Hi, Danielle. Great to have you here. So again, thank you very much.
Hi, Danielle.
Exactly. Excuse me. So where can we find you online, Judy?
You can find me anywhere under Judy Hoberman, Walking on the Glass Floor, Selling in a Skirt. I'm on every social media platform. The websites that we have are Walking on the Glass Floor. I mean, you could go on to Walking on the Glass Floor and click on Meet the Team, and you'll see all the facilitators and how amazing they all are. There's also different publications and different things about the media. That's really where you can find me. If you want to email me, you could do Judy at Walking on the Glass Floor or Judy at Selling in a Skirt. You can find me anywhere. You just call out. And where can we find you, Angel?
Yes, so the same as you. Yeah, you can find me online. It's very easy to do that. You can go to Facebook as here, or you can go to LinkedIn. I have a strong presence there. Or you can send me an email at angel as in heaven, angelrebo, R-I-B as in boy, O, angelrebo.com. Okay, angel@angelrebo.com. And obviously you can also go to wisdomforkids.today, where my foundation is, and you will see a lot of information about what we do and how we do it. So it was great to have you here, obviously, as every single day. Great week. What an amazing week. Just remind everybody,
I know.
make sure that you congratulate all the women around you, because definitely they deserve to be congratulated today, because, you know, probably we in general as human beings, we don't do enough to remind everybody the importance of treating women equally. So thank you very much again. See you tomorrow. Thank you everybody for here in Facebook for your hearts, your thumbs up, and your happy faces. We are happy to see that you enjoy the conversation as much as we did. So see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful and happy Friday.